Hello, Ken. How are you this fantastic afternoonish evening?
It's afternoon here in Phoenix. It's evening-ish, I think, where you are, Dan. I'm doing great today. It's a beautiful sunshiny day in Phoenix.
I think that's a song.
Yes.
Sunshiny day. I don't know if they say sunshiny. They say sunshining day. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, that's my little twist on the lyric.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. So today, tonight, this evening, this afternoon, wherever we're dealing with, we're talking about being drained. What is that all about?
Yeah. So the past 2 weeks, I spent every day getting up at 4:45 in the morning and working till about 9 at night in preparation for presenting a workshop yesterday on how to create a self-managed company and the 5 steps that leaders needed to go through in order to get to a place where they could do that. It's stuff that I've presented in person before. It's stuff that I've worked with companies on before, but I had never condensed what would normally be a 2 to 3 day presentation down to an hour. And like the old adage goes, I would have written a shorter letter if I had more time. It's challenging to take a lot of material and condense it and get it down to something that's just like a distillate, something that's just absolutely the essence of what you want to communicate. And so by the time I got to yesterday in the morning, and I was setting up out in the dining room area for the presentation, I had my checklist and I was feeling truly drained after 2 weeks of working at this level. I watched the clock as it's ticking down towards noon, which was when the presentation began. And I realized there were a lot of things on the checklist that hadn't been done. And I could feel myself start to kind of tighten in my chest. I could feel myself start to get a dry mouth. I felt my palms getting a little sweaty. It's like all the symbols and signs that your body sends to indicate that you're in that moving towards that like fight or flight mode, right? And I realized that if I allowed that to happen, if I allowed adrenaline to start pumping at a higher and higher level, it was going to take me 15, 20 minutes just to come down from it and get to a place that I needed to be to make sure that I was like really available and contributing to all the people that were going to be on the workshop on Zoom. And so I took a deep breath, took my own coaching. I took 2 minutes and just allowed myself to breathe. And I thought, great, this is perfect. I went to plug the computer in and realized that it was a 2-pronged wall outlet and I had a 3-pronged plug and I didn't know what to do. So again, I took a deep breath, went to the closet where we keep like timers and cords and all sorts of electrical things. Lo and behold, there's a 2 to 3 adapter in there, which I pulled out and plugged in. It's like, great. And in my mind, I thought, okay, one little challenge, I can overcome that. And the next thing I noticed was the Bluetooth indicator on my screen showing that I had like 5% charge left in my mouse, which has to be recharged with a cord, and like 5% left in my keyboard, which uses rechargeable batteries. And again, I could feel my breath start to quicken. I could feel my heart rate picking up. And I, once again, just had to kind of talk myself down, take a deep breath, just plug things in, get new batteries. This happened probably 4 or 5 more times. But the breakthrough was just being able to like literally go with the flow. It's so cliche. And at the same time, it's exactly what I experienced. And the quicker I was just able to move from little mini crisis to deal with it, to next little mini crisis to deal with it, the quicker I was able to do that, the easier it became and the greater facility I was developing for it. It was like getting my reps in dealing with micro crises. And there was something really instructive in that. And the fact that for most of us, I think, it takes work, especially when we're facing a deadline, and we're already feeling drained, and maybe we're feeling justified in getting upset. It's like, I've been working my ass off for 2 weeks and I deserve some upset right now. But then, that thought came to my mind, like, the upset serves no one. It's going to worsen the presentation. I'm not going to contribute as fully. People aren't going to be as engaged. The best thing I could do is just be present to the moment, deal with what's so, solve it, move to the next thing. And that's what I ended up doing. And it was like this little personal triumph for me. So that's what we're talking about today, Daniel.
So as a coach, one of my areas of focus is working with athletes. I branded a company called Elite Mental Game, and many sports agents will reach out oftentimes when their player is very drained for different reasons, right? They could be struggling with some aspect of their sport. They may have something in their personal life that they're focused on, whatever it is. But one story jumps to mind, which is a pitcher who will remain nameless in Major League Baseball, was supposed to be pitching that night. His agent contacted me and said he's having what he termed an anxiety attack, and he's in the locker room, and he should be out on the field warming up and getting ready to pitch. This was my first interaction with this person. And what I taught them, I'm going to give you a very shortened version of today. And if you want more information, I'm happy to share that with you. I have a whole video I could show it with you. It's the same concept of, if your battery is drained, what should you do? Plug it in, right? If you're having some flaw with some technology thing, what should you do? If you call customer service, technical support, they're first going to say, have you restarted it, right? Or have you unplugged it, plugged it back in? So I term this a reset. It's just a mental reset, right? So I often think that what people forget is that we as humans, we are not like somebody who generates power from outside sources. We are actually an energy generator. People often confuse that. They think like, I have to almost like be passive and wait. I have to wait for something to cheer me up. I have to wait for something to like get me out of this emotional state. Circumstances have to change for me to stop focusing on something here and get something more. But if you realize you're an energy generator, what that means is that you can create energy. So when you feel depleted, when you feel drained, when you feel like I'm not in the mood, or, like I can't do this, you can do it because you can create inside of you, literally the energy, the same energy you could get from having caffeine, right? Or taking some sort of stimulant medication, you can generate in your body. So the super fast version is along the lines of what Ken has said multiple times, which is taking a deep breath. So there's a really great guy, you can look him up, named Andrew Huberman. And he's I don't want to get it wrong, but believe he's a neuroscientist. And he's all about studying this stuff. So I've taken a lot of little concepts that I learned from him, and I'll say taken them to the next level because of what he learned. And one of them is when you need to reset, when you need to generate energy in your body, deep breaths are awesome. But what's even better is what he calls a physiological sigh. A physiological sigh is a double inhale through the nose. So it's not just a deep breath, but it's inhale through the nose with your mouth closed. And as you get to the top of that inhale, keep going further. So, and then exhale strongly through the mouth. Like I say, like blow out like Superman, could blow things over, like, and that, different than a deep breath, it sounds exactly the same, but it's different. This physiological sigh is built into our nervous system to help us calm down, to help us relax, and help us get out of that, what Ken deemed properly, this stress response. When we feel stressed out, when we're having an anxiety attack like that pitcher was, I taught him the whole reset, which is multiple steps. But for the purposes of this, most of you aren't watching video, I will just say, utilize what was a deep breath and create it and turn it into a physiological sigh. If you want a reference for this, look at dogs. Dogs do this. The most obvious dogs that do this is a boxer. You'll hear the grunt, right? That almost sounds like a snorting sound. And that is a way of them relaxing themselves. And what's built into us, we're human animals, is behind our nostrils. You can look this up. That extra deep breath fills those sacs behind our nostrils, and it sends the signals connected to part of our brain that tells us to just like calm down and relax. And that is step one of first getting out of that stress response. And then you as an energy generator can do something by escaping the drained feeling, like getting yourself back to what I call neutral. And then you can create energy simply by using your body, right? So how do we do that? Tony Robbins says emotion is created through motion. Physiology, the use of your body creates feeling. So if we do something, it could be as simple as like go on a quick walk, like clap your hands, do a jumping jack, go get a glass of water, but do something to create or generate energy in your body. And you can quickly go from drained to ready to go.
That's great, great advice. And this morning, so last night, I was counting on like an extraordinary night of sleep, and I didn't get one. I went to bed at 10 o'clock and I woke up at 1 in the morning, like just wide awake, and I couldn't go back to sleep. And so I just kind of laid there, tried to be with it, figure out what was happening, got up at 4:45 and got our boxer to go for a walk. Let me comment about the boxer first. You're 100% correct. That's exactly what they do. And the boxer exhale is world famous. That complete exhalation of all of that. And we know when our boy Dustin is in that space of total relaxation, because you can see his body move up as he does that inhale that you described, and then the famous boxer exhale, and he's gone. It's amazing to watch, and it just leads him into a deep sleep. So I got up to take him on a walk this morning, but before I did some deep breathing myself. Thanks for the tip on how to even enhance that and make it better. I did a little stretching, and it's like, I'm just going to be a body in motion. Took him out for an early morning walk. And along the way, I would say that next piece is the mental piece, which was I can frame up the day as I'm not going to be able to have a great day today because I only got a few hours of sleep last night and I'm really tired. Therefore, the day's a wash and my energy is going to sink. I'm going to be lousy to be around, but I'll justify it because I worked so hard and I had a bad night's sleep. Or I could reframe it and say, I got 3 hours of sleep. That's something. I'm healthy. I'm alive. I'm fit. I've got a great dog with me. Got a wonderful husband. Got a great home. Life is good. I'm a little tired today. So what? And with that reframe, Dan, something like extraordinary happened. All of a sudden, I started seeing things through a different lens because I had chosen to reframe how the day was going to go. And today has ended up being one of the most productive days I've had in recent memory. I don't feel tired. I had a cup of coffee this morning, but that was it. I haven't lived on caffeine all day. What I've done is taken time out every couple of hours to do some stretching exercises, drank plenty of water, and just did some gratitude journaling. And that has completely reshaped how the day has gone. And so, like the lesson, and I hope people hear this, so much of this can be altered by your own actions through that great exercise that Dan gave you, through reframing how you want to see the day. Like, how do you want your day to go? We actually have agency and can make that shift and change. And by doing so, we're going to draw things to ourselves that are completely different. And maybe even more importantly, we're just going to see things through a lens that is much different than I'm exhausted and I deserve to be in a lousy mood.
Many of you would not know, but I'm a certified hypnotherapist. So when people usually visit me in person, if they're local to where I live, they often ask if I can do hypnosis with them. And I will say the large majority of people they don't know much about hypnosis. It's interesting, sometimes scary to them. It's intriguing. But I'm going to teach you something that aligns well with the topic today, which is how as humans, we live in metaphors. A lot of times we represent things as if they're real, but the way we describe them, they're not real. We're just using a metaphor to describe. So we might say like, I have a lump in my throat. Really? You don't really have you might, hopefully you don't have cancer, but it's like the pit of my stomach. We describe things where it's like, I feel like I'm trapped. Like you're not really trapped. None of these things are really real. But I give this analogy in hypnosis and all of you can utilize this. And it's embracing or utilizing the way you're feeling. So if you're feeling drained, you're feeling like I don't have any energy. A lot of times, what you have inside your body, again, the metaphor that I'm utilizing here is that you have leftover remnants of past emotional, we could be dramatic, trauma, right? Something happened and it still lingers inside of you. It pops up. It's that, as Dr. Amen says, ants, automatic negative thoughts. It's like that thing that just pops in your head and you're like, and it frustrates you. And really, by you focusing on that, what does it do? It drains your energy. So what I do in hypnosis, and all of you could kind of follow along and do this on your own, it's a very common thing they use in hypnosis, and they use it in meditation and just forms of relaxation. It's to take the fact that you're already feeling drained or low on energy and relax. But when you relax, you can do what's called progressive relaxation, which starts at the top of your head and goes down to the tips of your toes. But you can allow yourself to be drained even further. And here's what I mean. You're utilizing the way you feel. You're utilizing maybe the metaphor you're using, whatever you call of feeling like low energy, drained, whatever. And now you're draining out the remnants that have stuck around from the past. And so the way I do this, the short version is, you can just close your eyes and imagine the very tip top of your head is a sunroof, just like a sunroof on a car. And you can imagine that you can open up that sunroof, and you can imagine at the tips of your toes are little openings of valves, almost like a faucet would be or anything else. You can turn it and open valves. You can create a flow that goes from the top of your head. That's an open, open connection on the top, and then an open release at the end of your toe. So now you have a smooth pathway between. And I call it sending a wave of relaxation through your body. So that wave can start at the top and flows through. It's a very calming wave, and it can flow through and out your toes, those little valves into your toes. Now, what's different about this wave of relaxation, I call it, is that it can seek out and find remnants. And I represent these remnants almost like sparkles. Any person who's been around either a card they got that had sparkles on it, or a nice gift bag, or maybe a dress that had sparkles, something with sparkles on it, they know how those sparkles will linger in your house for a long time. You're like, why do I still have sparkles on the ground here on this piece of furniture, whatever? It's because they stick around. They stick around just like those memories or those things, those automatic negative thoughts. And what we can do is this wave looks for them. It like is a seeking mechanism. It flows through your body, starting at the center from your head, and it finds these little sparkles, these little remnants of emotions you don't like, and it flushes them through you. It drains them through your body and out your toes. And it's really, freeing to watch people live through this metaphor and let me guide them through this exercise and watch them literally almost like take a weight off, right? Like these things, people call it baggage, because these things, even though I'm representing the sparkles, they can weigh you down. They can literally make you feel drained. It's like, like I'm living with so much guilt, shame, embarrassment, whatever that lives inside of you because we're not letting it go. So to free it out, we can literally drain it through our system with that wave of relaxation. So it's as simple as you just imagining it, and however you imagine things makes it real to you, right? So just utilize the fact that you're already feeling drained, lay down on a bed, a couch, or whatever, right? Sit in a relaxing chair and just close your eyes and imagine that. Open that sunroof from the top of your head. Allow this wave to flow through, seek out and find any of those little sparkles, those remnants of those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and let them flow right through you and out of your toes, and allow yourself to feel that weight lifted off of you, those remnants removed, and you to feel free of the past.
This is so great, and it's analogous to the work that I had done with someone in terms of chakras. For anyone who's familiar with that, it's much the same concept. Your crown chakra, and utilizing, visualizing white light moving through and literally cleansing as you move all the way down to your root chakra and then out your feet, which are grounded into Mother Earth. And it is powerful, however you choose to imagine it. The process is extraordinary, particularly if you practice it on a regular basis. I've always had extraordinary results with it. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because I think it's something that people can easily put into play on their own, and they're going to benefit from it greatly.